very good evening and welcome. It is Nosweat.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
And we're back with episode number 11, and I've got such an amazing team. You know, we're a team here, and just look at all these beautiful faces. Let me introduce to you a face that you are very accustomed with. The face of
I thought you were going to say face of excellence and then go to Wenda, but then you come to me with that intro.
I need to do a big intro for Wenda. We've done 11 of these.
You caught me off guard, come on.
And then also another familiar face, Wesley Button.
Hello, Simba. Whenever I see myself on screen, I remind myself I see myself in the mirror every morning.
Until you get here, then you want to get All right, this is the intro I've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting to my right, she is a two-time Olympian and semi-finalist in the 400-meter hurdles. She is a Commonwealth Games 400-meter hurdles bronze medalist. She is the World Championship 400-meter hurdles finalist. She is two-time African Championship gold medalist, as well as All African Games 400-meter gold medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, she is your nine-time, should I say 9 times? Nine times SA 400-meter hurdles champion, Wenda Nell. Wenda, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for that intro.
Oh yes, you know.
I feel so welcome.
They say go big or go home, and you're part of the family now. So yeah, it's really an honor to have you here, and thank you for joining us.
It's a big pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, you're probably wondering what we're going to be chatting about today. There's a lot going on when it comes to athletics, a lot of talking points. We saw a lot of great performances as well over the weekend. I know you're thinking of 9.86 things you can do in a few seconds. Smitty?
Yeah, there's a lot I can do in 9.86 seconds.
Not much to do.
No, there's nothing, my bro. It takes me longer to think.
So that performance from Akani Simbini, one of those we'll be talking about. But first and foremost, this is all about Olympics, the build up to the Olympic Games, and just 3 days away from the Olympic Games starting. And I'm sure you're excited about this, Wenda. This is something you've done in your life twice before, semi-finalist both these times. Tell us about the Olympic experience. I've never been there. So you tell us. I wonder what type of experience did you have then? How is it being an Olympian?
Pretty amazing. I think that sums it up quite well for most athletes, I will assume. But yeah, I think you dream so long, you work. I want to say work hard, but I mean everybody works hard. Or many athletes work hard. They work hard, but I think closer to the end of my career, I realized that it's not about hard work. It's about smart work, getting you to certain goals. But anyway, I think, like I said, you dream so long about something like that. I still remember my first kind of thought of the Olympics was specifically in grade 7, and I mean, you're like 12, 13 years old. Yeah. I did a creative writing thing in English where I still have it. So not recently, but while I was still an athlete, I went back and I came across that, and I'm like, wow, did I actually dream about Olympics or going to the Olympics when I was in grade 7?
Wow.
So it's really a seed that started there already. So I think dreaming about it for so many years and then eventually ending up there, getting the opportunity to participate at the Olympic Games twice, it's really, it was a great opportunity, great achievement in my career for myself. So
For a second there, I
amazing.
thought she was going to say the next part of her career is creative writing. I was waiting for it.
I always thought I should
I want to see
become
where this is going. But a very cool story. I like it. I wish I could stumble upon my writings. Yeah, it wasn't notes. It was scorekeeping.
Wow, what an amazing story. I mean, sure, to actually see that years later just shows the power of the tongue, ladies and gentlemen. It is more powerful than the pen, Wesley.
I don't know about that. The pen's pretty powerful. What is the Olympics like, Wenda? You know, you obviously dream about it, like you said. Is it what you expect? You know, getting into the village and the whole build-up. Is it what you hope for?
My first answer will be yes. My immediate answer. I always feel that that's kind of the right answer. Obviously, I mean, it needs to be amazing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
People expect, well, you've been at the Olympics, wow, and yes, it is, or was. But I think Rio being my first one, coming from people that I've trained with, being at the Beijing and London Olympic Games, they felt quite disappointed in the Rio Games, to be quite honest. Just the way the organization and the things around it. It was also that Zika virus or whatever. So, and I mean Rio, I don't think they've been that great with their preparations. With what we've read with the months leading up to the Olympic Games. So, but I mean, for me, I had nothing to compare it with. So it was for me, I had an amazing experience. I was there to compete. I was in the zone. I enjoyed it. My family was there. They celebrated with me. We got to do some sightseeing in a different country afterwards. So that's always amazing to have family there at the major championships and games. So yeah, I think I really looked forward to Tokyo, knowing that will be amazing. Everyone was like, okay, Rio was not that great compared to the previous ones. And I'm like, oh, what are you like moaning about? It's the Olympic Games, stepping onto that track. That's actually for me the amazing part. Just knowing the rest is incredible. I mean, how they prepare for so many athletes in a village, staying, the food, that always fascinates me. The dining hall, like all the different stations and the food and how they prepare and how they plan. And anyway, so my time leading up to Tokyo, I was very excited because, I mean, to be quite honest, I think the Japs could have done a great job. I mean, they just like with technology, just like they're up there. And then COVID.
Hey.
So I think my
Breezy sneaking in there.
Yeah, it was different type of experiences. But the actual participation, stepping onto the track, getting that feeling of I'm an Olympian. This is what you've worked for. This is what you dream about. Competing at the Olympic Games as a little kid, you watch these movies where people prepare for Olympic Games and I've qualified, and so yeah, that's for me that was the amazing part, just to step onto that track, getting that feeling of I'm competing at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Tell me, so getting there, we know you got there, all right. We see now with Adams, the whole let's call it controversy, and we discussed that in detail. Was there any time that you experienced trying to qualify that even that you had the time, or you in the rankings where you were nervous that you might not go? This is completely off the cuff, so knowing that you've already made it, but was there any instances where you were just like, oh dear, like I don't know what the selection team's going to do?
Yes, definitely. My first experience with that was with the London Olympic Games. I actually qualified according to the criteria, and then afterwards they've changed one or two things in the fine print. So yeah, and then I didn't get to qualify another time.
So did you get the A qualifying? Was there B qualifying? What was the?
It was I think that year they only had one. It was the A qualify, but you had to do it twice.
Oh, that's right.
You had to do. Why do it twice? What was the reasoning behind that?
At first they said you need to do one in South Africa and one international, and then we had the SA Open after nationals. You had the SA Open, and that's an open international meeting because we had the
everyone participating
countries, Botswana and Mozambique and so forth, that could have come. So then SASCOC said, okay, it's like it qualifies as an official international meeting. So then I qualified there. And then afterwards they said, okay, no, it's not going to count.
It's not. So the communication beforehand
Yes.
was, okay, this is it. This is what this
Yeah.
meeting is for.
Yeah.
Everyone gets hyped. You qualify there, and then they don't have it. Did nationals count that here?
Yes,
Top
So
two.
but
Not
not
as
as
an
an
international.
international meeting. No.
But as a
yeah, but I know
qualification.
not as an international. But if
But-
you qualified at nationals
Yes,
and you got
that's
the
one.
gold medal, that's one.
Yeah,
That should be enough.
It should be.
yeah,
That should-
yeah.
That games was so controversial. Simon Machakwe qualified 8 times in the 100 meters
And he
didn't go
Yeah.
because
My
he
goodness.
couldn't do it once
Once,
overseas.
exactly.
It was crazy.
I think that year put such a big blanket over, the qualification system. Like, I remember
Good Lord.
even if I think of Reinhard van
Rensburg,
I remember he
yeah.
mentioned that as well. Many other athletes,
Yeah.
you qualified, I've got it, but
Yeah.
don't have
but
it.
yeah, that's sad for me that you as an athlete you qualify according to their criteria, but
Yeah.
then you still in like
Don't
anxious on okay, but I still want to see my name in the paper because are they going to
Ash.
select me or are they not? So
I kinda
it's
know
not
what that-
official until you're on the list. Well, apparently you can be on the list and,
Yeah.
and you can be taken off the list.
You see what happened
Us
with
likes Adams.
yeah. With
I kind of know what that feels like. I was pretty anxious getting my matric results.
yeah, same level, of course, same comparison.
No, it wasn't that bad, but you always think there's that one slip.
Yeah, maybe I'm not there. But I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, the Lukolo Adams thing, I'm sure you've heard about it. What's your understanding of what happened there, Wenda?
I'm very curious. It feels nowadays, Temba, I must be honest that I'm very excited to follow the Olympics and I do follow our athletes. But my mom brain is taking over, so I'm not that up to date with all the everyday info, So I missed this one a little bit.
Wes will fill you in. Wesley, just fill Wenda in quickly.
What
have
exactly
you
happened?
what have you found out? Well, I know
Wes
I
has
know
been
if you're like a hound dog. Are you on a trail?
So Lukola Adams was one of 5 athletes who qualified in the 200 meters, but the qualifying criteria for these games was a little bit different. Because they had an opportunity to qualify on time. Those who didn't had an opportunity to qualify on ranking.
Correct.
So he's one of 3 athletes who qualified on time. The other 2 qualified on ranking. But essentially, they've all 5 qualified. Adams had injury problems this year. He wasn't really able to compete very much. And initially, Wade van Niekerk was included in the 400-meter team. And then all of a sudden, he was removed and put in the 200 meters. And Adams, who had already been included or announced by SASCOC, was then taken out. And the reason given by Athletics South Africa is that he's not in form, which is fair because he hasn't run under 21 seconds this year, and he's only run twice. So
And it
he's
places
not
him
in
what you
form.
said like 600th, or where does it place him in the
Yeah,
country?
it places him 67th
Yeah,
in South
sorry,
Africa
it's,
in the 200.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Exaggerating times 10.
yeah. And I think, they've got reasons for including Wade van Niekerk in the 200. It saves him energy. It gives him an opportunity to potentially run both relays. So from a selector's point of view, I get it, and I agree with it. I think it's the right decision. The problem is that SASCOC and Athletics South Africa announced Adams in the team.
He was in
And
the
then took
papers
him out.
everywhere.
That should not have happened.
Yeah,
That should
That's what
never
we
have
said. It's like
Because they knew beforehand he's not really informed.
Why,
Yes,
why
he hadn't
publish?
run.
Why
Yeah.
publish?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they announced that team something like 6 weeks before the qualifying window closed. And I don't understand why you would announce a team that early. That was the mistake. If they had just waited for the qualifying window to close, made all their decisions, then, Adams, I'm sure, would have still been disappointed.
But
But at least he's not being included and then taken
Yeah.
out. So he's threatened to take them to court. I don't know if he's followed through. He's not able to comment because the case is potentially.
And he's probably followed through.
Yeah, I think he probably has. I don't know how much of an argument he has, but I guess the judge will decide.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision by them.
I do too.
Communication errors happen.
when they said, as long as you're waiting for your name to be in the newspapers and television, it's like, then I can celebrate. No, Wenda, no, you cannot celebrate.
Exactly, you can't. But it only then feels official. But,
It's not.
But with recent information, maybe you should not.
It's
Only
official
if
when you landed there. When
Exactly.
you-
Not even if you step onto the plane. You need to get your
Land.
accreditation at the village. Then I think then you're safe.
You need to have your first meal at the village. Then you're okay. You might be there and you're trying to get some
Like you bring your plate, when
nyama and then sorry.
bring your plate.
Sorry. Are you a visitor?
Day students.
Yeah, let's
Anything new that evolved, Wes, that you know about? I've been trying to look. I didn't see anything from our last discussion.
No, not really. The only thing I have seen is that the new sports minister, Gayton McKenzie, has said that if he doesn't, if he's not included in the team, they're going to take him with as part of a South African delegation. And I don't know, for me, that's a bit of a slap in the face. I don't think Adams is asking for a free trip to Paris to go and watch the Olympics. He doesn't want to be a mascot for the team.
That's true.
He wants to run.
Wants to run, yeah.
And it's going to be worse if they seat him at the start of the 200 then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he would even want to watch. He's going to
Yeah.
It would suck.
It's a tricky one, yeah. But I mean, I see what the new minister's trying to do. Trying to employ what is it? Trying to encourage the athletes and trying to get involved. Obviously, it's
Yeah,
a
but then
sticky
how many
situation, but he needs to
other
run,
encouragements are included then?
Yeah, I don't know.
So-
The guy
okay,
wants to
well,
run.
take
Simple as that.
nothing away from Adams. He's a phenomenal athlete, all right, and he feels he needs to go, and it's been a rush against time. But if you're not informed, you're not informed.
That's the
I stand by
reality,
what
yeah.
I said previously last week. Wade didn't come back up
Yeah.
until he knew he could run,
Yeah.
but he also didn't accept any inclusions in any team based on I might do well, or I've made a final, or I'm the world record holder. He made sure that he's in some kind of shape
Yeah.
to compete, because you're there to compete. And you're right to say it's a slap in the face to be included like that, because
Yeah.
Adams is fighting to compete.
Run, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
with him not being in form, all right, it might be that he's fighting to go, which then this kind of justifies it by, okay, you want to go, let's take you with as part of the delegation.
I doubt that's what he
is
wants,
it.
eh?
But I wouldn't think, but maybe that it looks like it. But or maybe that's the perception of the minister, but making him a delegate.
The thing is, if he goes
yeah,
as part
yeah.
of a delegation, whoever he's traveling with, he doesn't get to be in the village. He doesn't get to experience any of the Olympics, really.
Yeah, I will decline.
He's
that
like
offer.
a spectator. Would you?
Yeah.
I think I would. I mean, I'm not an athlete, but I don't think I would appreciate that too
No,
much.
no.
I'm sure the minister means well.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that Adams would even accept that. I don't know.
Yeah. But
That's right.
That's the topic.
Or maybe he does, and then it's another conversation.
Yeah. The other thing is, I suppose it depends on how you look at the Olympics. And I've seen people commenting on social media. It's not just about the competition; it's about participating and that sort of ethos of the Olympic Games, which is true. But for me, as a reporter, just the way that I think about it, it's always kind of medals. Where we're going to get medals, and the decision they've made is in terms of
Medals, yeah.
getting medals. And maybe for a lot of people that's wrong. Maybe for a lot of people he qualified, he should go. But then my argument is also, Wade van Niekerk qualified too. He should also go.
Correct.
Sinesipo Dambile qualified. He's not
And-
going to run the 200 either. He should also go because he's qualified. He
And
deserves
Wade
it,
adds
but you
value
can't take all
to
five.
other parts of the team as well.
Absolutely.
Way more than Adams in his current shape.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a depth. I wouldn't even say that's a boost. That's like taking a vitamin B shot. You feel you can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on fire.
I mean, we know how much value Wade offers in both relays. We really do, and Adams doesn't offer that. So.
Yeah, we're still
Although
waiting.
I've got some info on the 100, so I'm chatting to Matt Quinn a little bit, not trying to get any info out of him, and he's very curious. Who's thinking? What do you think? What do you think? And I told him what my team is. I'm not going to tell you what he thinks the team is. He did hint that they're still not 100% sure that Wade would do the 4x1, and I think that is also then an indication, if you see where the 4x1 lies and where the 4x4 lies, which is afterwards that he's there to compete in the 200. He's there to make the final, to compete for a medal in it. and then going, I think the semis of the 4x1 is already the same day as the 200 final, or just after that. But it would be race every single day since the first day he starts running that 200. If you look at the schedule,
Yeah, I think he would only really become available in both relays
in the final.
if he gets knocked out in the heats of the 200. If he goes all the way through to the final, that's a lot of racing. He's had some injuries.
Yeah, but that's a lot of changeovers to go and practice. And if you're not, I don't want to curse anything, but there's a drop baton.
And we've criticized them so many times for that. We've said you've got to get the guys a chance to practice, and they've done that with a specific squad.
Yeah.
And Van Niekerk hasn't been part of that squad, so maybe they stick with what they've got. That makes sense.
So it definitely comes down to are they able to practice? Where does he in the 4x1 more than the
4x1 especially? That's the risk in the 4x1 is it's so high. I mean it's America has had this not even a taboo. They've struggled, the men, to just get that baton across. And these are the best sprinters. These are the best sprinters in the world. And they practice. I mean, they do relays since they were born. You come out, and then they give you a stick and you run. And all the way into primary school, high school, university, NCAA system. So they do relays way more than what we do. So you've got to understand. I think that's where you find the athletes being frustrated, saying, give us time to practice. Let us get to know each other. Let's build a squad where it's not only one person, but we need a guy who can actually flip in and out of any position where he's needed,
Yeah.
So
So I agree with that part of on the 4x1. There's that technical of we need to practice together, and we need to race together. And I haven't raced with him, but I think even though considering that he would be a phenomenal choice on the 4x1 if available then. So it's a little bit different than last week, which we can open this discussion to so who do you switch in? But before we get to that, I'm going to lead the conversation. I want to know who's your medal contenders.
yes, Wenda, tell us.
Yeah.
Which
You're putting her on the spot.
Yeah, how many medals do you think we're going to get? We should actually write it up here. And then say, Wenda said this, Evan said this, Wes
We're gonna
said
put
this.
money on it.
Oh,
I'm in the betting game this
my
Olympic
goodness.
Games.
You know,
Me
you're
and my
talking-
husband.
you're
we're
talking
like,
my language
what
right
are you
now.
I
saying?
just want to say, where
Am I
can you
on
bet?
time?
You're not allowed to. But yeah, you and your husband?
We
You
kind
play.
of gonna have some betting games going on
I like it. That's
with the
I like
events, not just position and who it will be, but times and.
Mama wants to
distances.
spend.
Yeah.
I'm very poor. I need
it.
some.
Please, husband, put in your bets and let's see if Wenda can make some more money. We also we even during the Euro, the soccer, we were in our group. We were put your money where your mouth is. Who do you think is gonna win by how many goals? And AK puts in his, Irvin, Leon, Kurt, and then it's just a matter of whoever gets closest. Let's see.
I missed that one. Germany was out already.
Yeah,
man.
man.
I woke up the next morning. I wish I got into it because I think I would have been close.
I was almost there until they scored another one, but then it's what makes it fun, isn't it? So
Yes.
Wenda,
Oof.
your medal contenders. Team South Africa,
Team
where
South Africa.
do you think we can win medals and how many medals can we win? Go.
From the top of my head, I think 3.
Okay.
I'll put my first little bit of money on AK.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
I truly, that guy. I think he deserves one.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of athletes deserves it. It's maybe not the right word, but I don't know. I think he really deserves one.
He's gonna earn it.
Yes, and I think with his last race, his recent race, I think he's getting there.
He's
eh?
ready.
He's on form,
Oh,
I would
yes,
say.
Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh,
So
yes.
I truly hope for him, everything just gets together in the rounds, make it through, staying calm, all the things.
Did you watch him race his
London,
previous race?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I think it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
So good.
Yeah, he was out. Everything came together, and he was
Yeah.
quick in the last bit.
Last bit.
The last 40 meters.
I also thought his last bit was wow. That was
It's flying.
Yeah.
He came out and I'm like, okay, no, he's there in the mix.
Mm.
And then he's like, whoa, yay, podium, another podium.
Another podium.
Noah Lyles is such a quick finisher, and for him to close
close
Lyles
him
down
down
like
like
that,
that.
Yes.
it's crazy. It shows that he doesn't have to get the start perfect.
Yeah.
He's just got to be in touch.
In the mix.
If he's
Yes.
close enough, he'll be
Yeah.
in with the medal.
Sheesh, absolutely.
So,
Your
yeah.
second
Yes, but
medal?
there's it's for. Yeah, okay. Let's go to the second.
We could talk about Akani all
Second
night.
and third medal, Wenda.
I'm not too confident about this one in the with the sense of which team, maybe both.
Okay.
But I think our relays
Yeah.
can be in the mix. I'm not sure, depending on the selection and
Yeah.
the actual team that they put together and how on form are our guys
Yeah.
lately. I didn't follow the 400 guys that like close in recent races. So, but yeah, I thought they did quite well at the world relays.
Silver.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll always put my money on our relays because anything can happen in a relay. You never know. It might just be our time and all the changeovers will be smooth.
Oh,
And,
yes.
and then
Maybe we just need Rassi in that change room.
Yes.
All right, boys, let's do it.
and AK's finish, and then we have
Boom.
it.
That's it.
So yeah, I think one of the medals, maybe both, but can go to the relays. And then a girl that really impressed me this season is Prudence.
Oh, yes, Wesley.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
I don't
Done,
know how her preparation was
Mm.
the month before she will race, but I don't know. She's got that something. Eh?
Magic, eh?
Yeah, and she improved quite a lot. Or yeah, I mean also on the Diamond League circuit. It feels as if she's running so fearless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, I mean, in France, well, in French, we say she's got that certain je ne sais quoi.
it's je ne sais quoi, and that's the right place to be there.
Oui, oui.
Yeah, oui, oui. Yeah, I must just think around the rest of the team, but that's from the top of my head. That's the three
Oh.
medals I will allocate, possible medals. Yeah, I will do my homework a little bit better in the next week just to see,
That's
No, I
that's
think
a
you're
very
spot
good.
on.
I
just
mean,
to see who might surprise us.
yeah.
The 800 guy also is quite impressive. I don't think he will be in the medals,
Edmund Duplessis.
but he's impressive.
Oh my
He-
goodness.
A few of our athletes in this season, they just raised the bar a little
Yeah.
bit. I know the world also raised the bar quite a lot,
Oh.
but it's exciting to see that some of our athletes are following.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
you got a 16-year-old that just run last night a 44.20.
Yep.
Crazy.
That's after going through the rounds.
Is it Quincy Wilson? I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Quincy.
right.
Yeah.
After going through the rounds at the US trials, he ended up sixth. Eventually, he made the team, so he's reserved for
really?
the. Now he's one of the quicker guys there. So he's gone 44, 44 during the rounds, during 3 rounds in the Olympic trials, the US trials for the Olympic team.
Imagine a 16-year-old gets a medal in the 400 at the Olympics.
Wow.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, we saw something similar with the 200 athlete.
Yeah, Arian Knighton.
Aaron Knighton, thanks for saving me. Yeah, he ended up getting bronze. One of the
That's
youngest guys ever to do it for US. I don't know how many rounds this guy would have had in it, but if he made that team with his form progressing from where he ended at US trials, maybe it was a week away and he would have actually made the top 3 and then post a quick time or make the final in the Olympics, and he's a medal contender
That's
for sure
special.
at that time.
That's special.
There's a lot of drama in that 400 meter. I see even Lyles is weighing in on the 4x4
The
team.
4x4, yeah.
Fastest man in the world doesn't deserve to be on that team. Oh man, that's nuts.
Good problems. Good
Did
problems.
you see that post, Wes?
No, I didn't see that
Wow.
specific.
Yeah, him and
post.
Fred Kelly have been going at each other
It's
about
not
it.
even just Fred Curley. Everyone's in on it. Where
Yes.
he's calling out the quickest guy that ran a 43.7
Yeah.
around there. Again, the name. It's out of my mind. They had a discussion on a podcast.
Oh yes.
And he then said, "This doesn't No, he shouldn't be in that team. He's a risk. He should be in the start. The quickest oak should start off in the 4x4 if he's lucky. So that's my perception of that conversation. But it was worded a little bit differently. But it came down to that, and then all the flares started. So I don't like Lyles that much as a personality. I love Bolt. There's a sense. There's in the lightning strike that he throws. There's a sense of humility still towards others and to his competitors.
Yeah, respect for his competitors. You're right.
I there's a little dark side I don't like in Lyles, and I can't hope, or I can't wait to see AK go after that gold, and hopefully he snatches it. Then
Hopefully.
you won't see me for 2 days.
I think Lyles is still the favourite. If we're objective and we're honest,
No,
I think
he is,
he's
absolutely.
consistently
200, yes,
performed.
100. I'm telling you, I feel like that 100 is just so open.
It's open, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like whoever's gonna just rock up there. The Jamaican guy is strong. Akane is saying, "Hey guys, you know, we know when we had the podcast last week, people were like, Akane, are you guys being too optimistic? Are you guys like?" And then 986, everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Leave the big dog alone.
It's the first time that he ran sub 99 in a while.
Yeah,
since
season,
2020, no,
Yeah.
20. Yeah, it is run about 2021. Let me just confirm.
my-
That's what
my memory
also
doesn't
makes it
work that well.
exciting.
Exactly.
I feel that he's really on form going into the Olympics. So now,
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
I feel-
it was Olympic year where he ran that. I remember he ran that 984 and
989.
no 984, and it was just before Olympics. Remember, went into the Tokyo. It was a very different Olympics. You would be able to explain more.
Yeah, but he got his fourth. I think that was 2021
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
989.
So that was something also special. So let's see, 100 meter, as we said, it's quite open for anybody. But let's talk about your event, Linda.
Whoa.
We need to get to it as well. The 400 meter hurdles.
My goodness.
Goodness gracious me! Before we talk about we talk about the international, I don't know what the heck is going on there.
yeah.
Let's talk about South Africa. All right, Wenda now steps down. We shed a few tears as well. I won't say how many, but there was an onion in the room when you the onion was hitting my eyes. Okay, and
Glad the onion was there.
yeah, it was there. You know, you step away from the event and the state of 400 meter hurdles in South Africa for the women since then. How do you think it has been?
I need to interrupt this just quick. We're going to get to that question. Mandy Prinsloo says, Connie Simbine is our favorite. Go team on track.
Oh yes.
Okay, back to your question.
Let me just sneak that in.
Before we get there.
He's my favourite too. I feel like I lost some faith there. He's my favourite sentimentally, but I think objectively, you know, Lyles maybe just has a little bit of an edge, but Akani can beat him. We know.
Oh, were
that.
you referring to Lyles being the favorite in the 100?
Yes.
I might
he's
have,
the world champion.
I might have listened with a half a ear and agreed to something that I do not agree on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, AK is my favorite too. When I say the favorite, in terms of the 200, because I had 200 after that,
Yeah.
and a bunch of things. Yeah, I believe, but nothing. I would like nothing to see more than AK.
Oh, me too.
AK winning.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
But let's check here some more comments, Facebook and YouTube. I see Brendan Alfonso saying, excited for this one. I think he's a Wenda. They're never excited for us, always excited for guests. Why? But
I
anyways.
think it's referring to the Olympics.
No, I'm talking about the podcast. I think he's excited about the podcast. Andani Madima, yeah, that's my younger brother. He says, very interesting and informative. Indeed, isn't it? So we look forward to continue to just share, obviously, in these chats. And you read something from Facebook as well, right?
Yeah, I do. But hey, back to a question. I was so rude.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think once again I should go and broaden my vocabulary a little bit because I stick to the word amazing.
It's like
But-
Temba's absolutely.
Absolutely.
I say phenomenal.
Phenomenal, you could say.
Yeah, now it makes me excited to see our athletes especially in my event coming up. I'm very impressed with Regale.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, she's been there, just there knocking on the door for a few years now. I know few nationals she's been in third place, but yeah, never getting that breakthrough, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to see what she's going to do on the big stage. She's been quite consistent with her last few races. Yeah, it's great to see and know that there's more than one athlete qualifying in this event for a major championships. I know the last 2 years there's been Zenay and Taylor, and I missed the opportunity to be the third one. I was so excited for the 2022 World Championships, having 3 ladies in our event.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, injury
Yeah.
made me had to withdraw. But anyway, yeah, I think there's so much more in them. I think my personal opinion, they are holding back. Do you hear me, ladies? You are holding back. There's more in you. I know it. No, I think they're going to do some great things. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how they compete amongst the best in the world. I think that awakens something different inside of you once you step onto the track, and especially I mean Regale definitely also proved herself at nationals, fighting that fight with Zenay.
Yeah.
But Zenay she's got that big stage race
She's a fighter.
mentality fight in her.
Yeah.
So she's a real competitor,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
We've seen
so I
some
think-
amazing duels between you and her.
but it feels as if she's done great this season, but like I said, I feel there's something more, and I think she's going to release it at the games.
Absolutely. As Irvin says, this is the word I like to use. If you look at Regale, she ran that 54.84 seconds in her qualifying. And as you mentioned with regards to Zenay, Wesley mentioned also she hasn't broken that 54 yet. She's got that 54.47. But like you said, it just feels like, her potential, You
Definitely.
mentioned that World Youth Champion, gold medalist. World Junior Champion, gold medalist there. Same age as the big two,
Yes.
which is Sydney McClarkin, as well as Femke Ball.
Yes.
So she's there.
She's there. And if you look at her 400 time, I really think the national record's gonna go.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's got to at some point.
50.81.
That's a 400
Yeah,
time.
that's a 400 time.
So there's more.
With the time
That
like
is,
that,
that's quick.
yeah.
Listen, that's not that's not playing around. That's super quick. I thought she was like 51 high, but seeing that 50.81, that
She's
was
been
last year,
running-
last year April.
She's
Yeah.
been running really well in the flat.
Yeah.
I wonder if, with the depth and the quality at international level in the hurdles, I mean, it really is insane at the moment. I wonder if it might be in her best interest to focus on the flat 4. Do you think that's something that she might think about?
I'm actually not sure. I know her love is more with the hurdles.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's maybe if she's more anxious when it comes to the hurdles. The 400 she's a little bit more relaxed. But I know she's been working on the mental side of her training and sport and competing. So I truly hope that everything comes together, and because coming from my personal view as an athlete as well, the mental side, it plays a big part. You can be in such great form if you suddenly froze or something, you just get that anxious feeling just before you need to compete. It's just like everything becomes so stiff, and there's not that flow. So I think if she can start dipping into the 53s, she will stick more to the hurdles, definitely.
It's a very good question, Wes. It's actually you actually almost caught Wenda off guard.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
caught me
I-
off guard with
I
a
don't-
with a
I don't
50
know.
point with a 50 point. I would go for the 49. I mean, that's really competitive.
It's true.
Yeah.
Not that 50.8 is not. That's a phenomenal
But-
time.
But the thing is, with the 49, you will, if you look at Femke and Sydney, you will have to be able to run low 53s, 52s, and then you're also competitive in the 400 hurdles.
Gee whiz.
But they're running sub 51. Well, we know Sydney 50.65. But
But I mean, it's the two of them. The rest are
There is a
really
gap.
in the
52 is a
53.
big gap.
Yeah,
You're right.
53,
52, 53.
here and there, if they really go for it, the Chamu Littles and they will run a 52. But I mean, if you can do a 53, you are competitive. You
You're
can win
right.
Diamond Leagues. If
Yeah.
Femke's not there,
Femke or Sydney.
yeah, if they are not there. I mean, but if you look at the recent one,
Oh, that
the
little-
London one, the slowest time, position 8, 54.6, I think.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, in my times, you might have won a Diamond League with a 54.6.
Gee whiz.
But there's been a shift. Let's talk.
Definitely.
We've touched on the local scene, the international shift when it comes to that 400-meter hurdles. I mean, my goodness, we
I have
saw
a
a 45. Okay.
No. Sorry, finish your sentence and then I'll ask my question.
We saw a 45 over the 400-meter hurdles for men. My goodness. Then now we're seeing 50s in women. You know, if you're running a 50 on a flat, like we said, Zene is competitive with the 50 on the flat. It's a good time. But now they're running those on hurdles now. So again, it's like you have to just shift up. It's almost like where do I move
So
to?
what? Like you've got the leg speed, all right, and you step down from 400 hurdles, which in my mind you're a great 600 runner. Then naturally as well, you can actually climb and run some good 800s. We saw you run a couple of the classic shootout 600s, and
one
you're
few.
dominating in that. So she's got the speed to compete. What does she change just to break that 54, maybe go into the 52 barrier? What is the key? What?
Well, looking at the top two, they definitely made a big difference in their stride pattern. They made
14.
it less.
Are they almost going for
yeah.
14? My goodness.
No, I think they are. Femke's doing. Isn't she doing 13 the first part?
And then converted to a 14.
Yeah, I think so.
Those are like male strides almost. Eh?
I might be wrong, but I
Where's Kurt? Kurt knows
Was-
these things off by heart. We'll get them.
13.
Call Kurt.
No, continue, Wenda.
You continue, we call
No, I'm
Kurt.
lying. Is it 14? 13.
I think Sydney will aim for 14 because of her height and her,
Yeah.
her stride.
But why do I feel that Femke's
Let me
was,
call
was
Kurt.
experimenting with 13 in some article or interview? I might be wrong.
Maybe it's something she's trying.
Maybe it's 14, 15. Maybe she wants to do 14 all the way through. Maybe it's that.
Yeah, that
I'm not.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think 13 is maybe pushing it a little bit. That's the males will do that.
Yeah.
It's 14.
I'll
14
bring
till
that.
7.
Kurt, you live, you know that. Eh?
Femke,
You've been watching.
Femke will go 14 to 7.
But I think she's experimenting to go further.
What Kurt Kuoto is saying is that she will run 14 strides between the hurdles for the first seven
7
hurdles,
hurdles, yeah.
and then what? Drop to 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Then
And-
she goes to 15. And Sydney, when she ran at the US trials, the new record she went 15 all the way. So if Sydney unleashes the 14,
Yeah.
Linda, how much for the sub 50?
Hey.
Oh, 49.9.
So, Kurt, out of your experience, Kurt, while we have you here, all right, from where you at now? Where in the world are you?
I'm in Turkey.
Oh, not
You're in
Wenda,
Turkey, you see. Direct line to Turkey.
Turkish.
Anyone
enjoying the
want some
Turkish
chicken?
Food.
If you Zane at the moment, you got the leg speed with a 50.81, what do? How do you bring that time down? What do you do, coach?
Coach Kurt coached
Coach
the athlete who
Kurt.
ran a 47. Huh? Let's just say that.
I know he does.
Zane,
Yeah,
Zane.
now they ran out of lane 8, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So what do you do, Kurt?
Zane is tall. I would just push a 15 all the way. Because if you haven't trained for a 40, it will be very difficult. But she can do a 15. And if they say Paris is a fast track,
Let's go.
Take the chance, man.
Let's
When they
go.
took the chance, when they took the gamble in Beijing, ask her, she
Yes,
took the
it
gamble.
worked out.
Love it.
Take the gamble. Take the gamble in Paris
15.
and push for 15 as far as you can. She can hurdle both legs. Take the gamble.
Take the gamble. You know what? Could bring in some
I like it.
some bold
Great
advice,
advice.
there. That's our
From Coach
special
Kuto.
pundit all the way from Turkey, Kurt Kuto, reporting live from
Danko,
Turkey.
Danko.
And I apologize for pronouncing your surname
Kurt,
wrong,
bye.
Kurt. I think I know it by now.
Yeah, so you heard it. I think
Yes.
it will
Yeah,
be.
sorry, I missed. For a split second there, I'm like, oh no, Dos Santos running 13 all the way. The
Yeah,
women
I
will
was-
not run 13.
Yeah, but yeah, we got clarity
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
but that's the first thing. I mean, when I was experimenting with different stride patterns, that's the thing. That's how you get faster, especially when you're a little bit taller.
So you have to
For me, it
get
wasn't
comfortable
that
within
easy.
the, like I've never run hurdles. I had no appetite, but you'll have to get comfortable within that stride pattern. But have you on the other side like doubted it and then just before a race you change it around?
Yes.
You have.
Yes, I have, definitely. And for me, with my build and length and whatever you will want to call it, it sometimes depended on the weather as well. Because for me to push a certain stride or to try and go less or fewer strides at the beginning into the wind, I will waste some energy. So there I will rather make it a little bit more choppy and go to 16. But I did experiment with 15 for the first few hurdles, a few seasons. But yeah, it also all depended on weather and how I felt and the time of the season and the shape that I've been in at that time.
So that's a decision you make before the start, right? It's
Yeah.
not once you get to the first hurdle you see.
No.
Okay.
I will consciously decide I'm going to
Okay.
go for this today. If it's going to work out, that I don't know, and then I will adjust as I go.
Okay.
But yeah, I always would have had a plan.
Have you ever in the race changed it
Yes, yeah.
while running?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
One
I
of
feel
the moments Kurt was referring to was at the World Championships in 2015 on the
Oh,
Beijing
okay,
track.
cool.
Yeah. So there, in the heats, we realized this track is so quick.
Let's go.
So I had to
Adjust.
messed up a little bit the things because now you're different legs at different hurdles and you finish with different leg and so. But I mean, like we also said now, you have to. That's the one thing that I'm working with little kids, trying to make them alternate from a young age, just to get used to both legs, and then it actually doesn't really matter what happens. Then you can adjust on your feet while you're running. You have to. But,
That's crazy. That's
yeah.
probably more technical than the 800.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
way more
you can only
technical.
just go.
I will
Deciding
agree.
that there's so many options. There's 8 athletes. Okay, I know you get the different, let's call it race tactics, but your tactic, everyone's tactic is to win. But there's 8 athletes, 8 lanes running different strides. That's quite. That's quite.
But it's also
quite
just-
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just adding to that, I mean, like, just look at Zene. She's running 50. That's a personal best. Your personal best to personal best in the hurdles, much smaller
Yes.
transfer. You know,
Yeah.
you were running 52.03.
52, yeah.
I mean, and you're faster than Zene and
Currently, yeah.
and Regale
Yeah.
currently. Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking
I
to the
believe
potential.
that they will break
they
my
will.
PB
We believe it.
very soon.
It's very modest.
But
of
yeah,
you.
if you think
But I
about
mean,
it, the 400 is so much faster.
yeah, the way
Then-
you transferred. I mean, you mentioned it. You're a much shorter athlete compared to them. She had an 8-pack, ladies and gentlemen, fit as an ox, and always, running almost to your maximum. If you look at your
Yes.
transfer, so
Yeah.
like you're saying, these ladies should be running much faster. Zene, we believe.
There's more in the tank.
We
There's more in the
believe.
tank.
We're not saying this.
Release.
We're just saying release the inner kraken.
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Go for
So
it.
I have a question. Can I quickly ask a question while we're on this crazy times and things?
Yeah, sure.
What do you guys think about the role of the technology
The shoes?
Yeah, I've spoken about
specifically.
that on Passion.
And
okay?
apparently, the track is also
Yeah.
like Tokyo, or not like Tokyo, but also it's made to break records. So
Yeah, in the famous,
but-
famous words of
Made by Red Bull.
a sporting philosopher and a man who really did well, Usain Bolt. He said, if I had the technology they have now, I would run sub 9 seconds.
yeah.
Let's just leave it at,
I
at that
agree.
for me.
I
mean,
agree.
It's so phenomenal.
Warholm also in one interview said, "Why don't we have the technology? So why don't we use it to our benefit?"
Rockets in the
and
shoes.
it makes
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
it makes it makes sense.
Yeah, we need
It
rockets
is
in the-
available, so use
And
it.
if you can compare the shoes you were running in 10 years ago to the shoes they ran in the 50s,
Yeah.
it's always improving.
Marathons,
Technology
especially.
always gets
Exactly.
better.
Yeah.
Road running, we've seen it a lot as well. I mean,
The times in the marathon are crazy.
Yeah, it's
The
crazy,
times in
yeah.
the 400 hurdles, the 800, the
Yeah.
1500. I mean, we can go across the board
absolutely.
and it's improving.
And it's
so the
technology.
shoes have to be making a
Yeah.
difference.
No
And if you
brainer.
speak to the athletes, they'll tell you they can feel the difference.
Yeah.
No, we saw when those Nikes came out,
Yeah.
and Adidas wasn't quite there yet with their technology. Puma wasn't quite there yet, and you just had that World Champs in Oregon.
Yeah.
That's right.
I remember I
But all
spoke,
the Nikes, they dominated.
Nike even invited athletes to wear the Nike shoes and just rub out the tech if they're
Yeah,
not
they
allowed
said,
to wear
"Listen,
them.
take them, guys."
Yeah.
I spoke passionately about it there, and people were like, maybe technology. I was like, guys, it is playing a big role. It was evident to see in the technology, if you look at it, 200 meters upwards, we've seen really great strides. In the 100,
Yeah,
since
not-
Bolt left and Tyson Gay, Johan Blake, Gatlin, they were running the time faster than the times that are being run. So on the 100, we can say that technology is not maybe too much bounce, too responsive. So the athletes not able to really transfer that speed into the new technology of the spikes. We see it also. Christian Coleman is struggling since the new spike because he's a very flat. He was running faster in the previous spike. The other 200 meter athletes,
Then change back.
400 meter. No, but you can't. Are you allowed as a sponsored athlete Wenda to run in a very
older-
old model
yeah.
because you don't? You can explain. I don't know. I
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, according to me, no. I think you are required to run with the
Latest trend.
most
You need to sell the
recent-
shoes, right?
Yeah, it's marketing.
Marketing, yeah. Yeah, I only
Yeah, I've
had
got such a big reservation against that.
like
like
marketing.
No, go market your shoe. But if every athlete's different. Coleman is a quick start. If that shoe is hindering his performance, he should be allowed to wear a shoe that you've produced, right, to get that gold medal. Otherwise, why incentivize him anyway, in the first place? So he's running to win that gold, and there's some payouts in that furthers his career. Why block him? I
That
understand
seems
the market.
strange, yeah.
I understand the marketing thing at the end of the day. If it's the same Nike, Andre Olivier said something way back, and it stuck in my mind quite. So he didn't worry about what shoe he ran, and he believed in what he called the Au Matil. That is his pairs of shoes that he ran on at nationals with. This is during high school. He said they just fit well, and I just run quick.
Yeah.
So he didn't worry how cool the shoe was. He saved that pair for his races. And
Okay.
they shouldn't be stopping the guys to run in whatever model they have. If it's tackies, then go run in tackies. That's how I feel. If you're gonna run a 9.5 in tackies, go for it.
Buddy.
I agree with you. I'm not saying it was the shoe, but that made I tasted a little bit of the new shoe of Puma with that
Nice.
build up
Bubble.
that last season that I competed, and since I ran in that shoes or started training in those shoes, I started with an eagle.
You see,
So
Yeah, because
I'm
you have
not
to
saying
get-
once again saying it is the
Is
shoe,
that-
but
no.
it's the major thing that made it that was
absolutely.
changed in that
Yeah.
period of time with my training.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, one shoe, we are built differently. One shoe should not fit all. So I think they should have more spikes variety available
Yeah.
in a season.
Or if you're marketing it, what I see at the end of the day is that guy is running in that white shoes with the new, let's call it Adidas, with the new way the 3 stripes are on that. Why not make the old one, remodel that to look exactly the same? Then it looks like everyone's running in the same shoe, but your pro athletes get to run in what they're most comfortable in.
Like a good example of this was, I remember when Tyson Gay, when he was still on top of Adidas, you know, the web that they created underneath his foot, it's like a special web which the sprinters were using. Tyson Gay ran in it. Johan Blake also went and broke. Well, he broke 9.7 in the same spike. Sprint wave, and it was almost Gay's patent that was brought over to the next model of the shoe, because he said, listen, I run fastest in this. But over the years, you've seen how the shoes have changed and they've got rid of that, and everything's become bubble. But you know, it is, kids want the bubble. You can sell a bubble, it becomes the norm. They're probably getting more sales because of the bubble phenomenon. But let's burst their bubbles and say, hey, go back to the old if it doesn't work. 100
Well, they
meters.
don't have to change it. The old exists.
Yeah, and it
So
works.
just give the athletes the opportunity to run in whatever they want. Let's say if that is the case, which I truly believe, it makes sense that they'll say you will run in the shoe. Cool. Yeah, that's a difficult one. That's a whole other side. But technology does play you're right. Technology does play a massive role in it. What do they change in the shoes from here then? Does
Put
the
springs in
sole
them.
start moving like a conveyor belt?
Yeah.
What
What
is
with
next?
the wheels?
Put some rockets. But I remember when we had that podcast with regards to technology, my argument was they have to come to a certain point where they do cap it. You know, they did it in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
With the Speedos, phenomenal suits, everybody knew. They call them the suit records, because anything as soon as people touch those things, national record,
Have you
world
seen?
record.
Have you ever held one of those in your hand?
The shoes?
No,
The suits.
the swimming suits.
No.
Holy smoke! I don't know how they get in that. I think that takes a warm up by itself just to get into it. You get this little packet. So I was working with Leisure Holdings at the site. I think they're called Performance Brands now, and they've got a brand called Arena. So that's a well-known. I think they sponsor the SA team as well at the moment, but with their suits. You get this little packet, and when you take that thing out, it's not much bigger. All right, and then the swimmers fit into that, and it's a whole stretch and thing. It's as if it sucks everything together. It's actually phenomenal. I don't try and put one on myself. I wouldn't dare. But I was always amazed with the high performance. And then it's a couple of swims, because the chlorine, the stuff in the pool dissolves the stitching, or dissolves the. I don't even think it has stitches. It looked like a kind of like a material weld, like they'll smelt it, and if I can put it in Afrikaans, they'll melt it, to melt it together, smelt it. It's midday Tuesday. Catch me on a Friday. I'll be a little bit sharper then. But yeah, it looks like it's well done, and it's something like 12 swims, and then
Done.
Then it's done.
But what I like about the swimming is they quickly responded. They said, no. Something is certainly up here. I mean, if you look at road running times and you compare athletes, you know, women are running sub 29 now. You know what I mean? Which is, it isn't normal. You know, women are running. I mean,
They're beating you.
yeah, they're cleaning me out. I mean, a lot of these women, you put them in 400. I mean, what number is Sydney? She's ranked amongst. I mean, her 400-meter time in the hurdles she can be in a final of
In the flat 400.
on the flat 400.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it takes a special athlete in a special shoe, and you know all this.
I think the key is to be fair. You know, if there's improvements with the technology, that's inevitable. It's going to happen. The problem is when half the athletes have the shoes and half of them don't, and that becomes difficult.
Just cap it. You need to cap the stack height, cap the amount of carbon that's allowed in it, cap to a certain point, you know, because otherwise it becomes like sky's the limit. You know what is, and remember the shoe brands will never. They always respond to another person. That's how technology works in general. But you get to a world championship or Olympic games where this shoe is just the best, and they knew it with the swimming as well. Ryk Neethling, Roland Schoeman, they were like, they knew that suit was better. Nothing you can do. It's not your sponsor, you know, and you're not gonna cover it up, and it doesn't work like that. Running the latest gear, when they said it, you have to promote the latest. So yeah, interesting one.
Can we flip to the 4x1? Because I want to pose a question, and this is to all four of us, myself as well.
You're asking yourself a question.
Yeah, I actually am, because I'm not in my mind. Yet again, I reserve the right to change my mind. I'm not 100% sure what that final team would look like if Wade's not in it, and we discussed it with all confidence. Wade is in it.
Which one? The 4x1?
The 4x1, yeah. What does it look like? Where's to you first? What does it look like without Wade?
So, give me a second here to wrap my brain around it. First, let's go through the 4 athletes that you would need to select. So, Akani, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got, let's just break it, all the athletes down. We've got Akani Simbini, we've got
Benji Richardson.
No, let's wait with
As reserve.
as well. Yeah, as reserve. Let's say Benjamin Richardson. We've got Bradley Nkwana. We've got Bayanda Walaza. Apatuchezo Masanganya. Did I touch on Sean?
No.
Yeah, so this...
And Dambile.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep him out because he's not a 100 specialist. Yes, they can use him. But this 5, I think that's where the selection will be made. You know.
So I think.
What is it? I reserve the right
to comment at a further time if need be, aka change.
We all reserve that right.
Yeah.
Love it. What he said.
So the first choice team, I think, without Wade has got to be and Paul Goris, I'm sure, will go this way. It's Akani Simbine, it's Benji Richardson, Sean Maswanganyi, and Bradley Nkwana.
Okay, we need the order.
That's the challenge. I would always put Simbine on the anchor leg. He's so good on the anchor. I think it's silly if you put him anywhere else. And then you want guys who can run the 200 on the bends. Benji Richardson, after the 100 that he just ran, maybe starts, and then Nkwana on the back leg, Maswanganyi on the top bend, and Simbine to close. I think that's what I would do.
Wow, that's a nice twist.
What
Window?
What he said.
Okay.
What would you say?
Yeah, I'm not. So
But it changes stuff around, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
Right. So I'm gonna throw something else there. Historically, where they raced, where Benji ran the 986, it's a little bit high altitude. Taking nothing away from him, 986 is phenomenal anyway. And then where did Kuana run the 1002?
Same event.
Same event. All right. Altitude. We're looking at a lower altitude in France. All right. And then I'm going to rewind that back a little bit. African champs, 1013. That was Bayanda.
Bayanda, 1015.
1015. Did Kuana run African champs?
I don't believe so. No.
But anyway, let me go on my uninformed self. I would actually start Walaza, Bayanda. I won't run Nkwana at this stage where I'm at, and just understand where I'm going. Then I'll go Sean Maswanganyi in the back bend, Richardson, not back bend, in the back straight. Yeah. Richardson in the bend to AK, and AK finishes it.
I think the choice between Nkwana and Walaza is difficult to make, right? I think you could pick either of them. They're both junior athletes. They're both in great form. They both perform consistently well, and both have run in the relay, and both have done well. So, I don't want to take anything away from Paul Goris or kind of criticize him in advance, but he's got an extra difficult decision because Bradley Nkwana is his athlete. Yeah, and I wonder if that comes into play. Emotionally, is he going to be able to say, Bradley, you got to sit to the side, and Walaza, who hasn't run as fast,
if you look at champs as well.
So let me read that, Tim.
So at African champs.
So you got Bayana, we know ran at African champs the 10-15. All right, and he's got the silver at nationals. All right, that's fairly consistent.
Yeah.
So you got Nkuwana at African champs. From what I see, it's in the heat, 10.42. Then he came back with a 10.30. All right. Then he ran in Belgium the 10.33. Then again in Belgium he ran the 10.17. Then in France, Switzerland, he went 10.11 plus 1.1 wind, and final with a plus 1.9, almost not illegal wind. He ran the 10.03. Yes, there is progression within that, and then there's also the altitude question. But if Timsah was going to bounce back to the top, I would say he's probably in a 10.2 form, from what I see there. The high 10.10s, from just the feel that I get, 10.17. And that's why I'll pick Bayanda.
Okay. That's a fair decision, yeah.
Okay, so what's your formation? Just hit it.
No, just said.
You did.
Bayanda, Sean, Richardson, Akane, if Wade's not running.
Yeah, that's a good team. Yeah.
And you, Madims?
Yeah, I like your team as well. I like that, Bayanda started at the previous one.
And they ran quicker nationals with, not nationals, at World Relay Champs with him.
Yeah, so I'd stick to it because of the 4x1, like I said, it's such a finicky event. If something works, you want somebody who will plug into a place rather than move somebody from a place where you ran before. You get what I mean? So if Bayanda started at the world, at the previous relay championships where they medaled, or where they ran so well, let's rather say, keep him there. So we've got Walaza starting. Back straight, we've got a nice option of, Sean has that speed over the 200. So if you give him a long stretch as well, I know he will run phenomenally there. The man who's in form again for the bends is Benji. He's currently our top 200 meter sprinter based on
No one's going to get
20-24
a better
times.
bend.
Yeah.
I'd say Sean would get a very good bend because he also runs a lot of 200s.
Absolutely. So you could use, but I'd give Sean the long stretch because he's got that experience. He will fight and he'll get us into a good position. Benji, strong on the bends. He'll bring it over to Kanisimbini.
I think there's another thing that we need to take into consideration. We talk so much about these guys having to practice together. They've got to practice the changeovers. Sean Maswanganye is based in the States and doesn't really form part of that squad when they have these camps. And
he's
possible.
expressed his frustration about it.
Yeah, it must be difficult for him, but I mean it's a logistical issue. He's not here, right? So he can't be in these camps. So
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it is for him to get over here and get back. But if he's missing out on these camps and the other guys are training regularly together, it might be a safer bet to not even run Maswanganye and pick the two juniors alongside Richardson and Simbine. It's a possibility that Khoris goes that way.
No.
And when they
sound take on it.
Yeah.
And I like your reasoning.
Okay.
I do. How many 4x1s have the other kids run? How many is he running in the States? Every single meet he
Every
competes in.
championship, yeah.
Even at their nationals,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
NCAAs, he was racing in those 4x1s.
Yeah.
That alone brings a lot of experience,
Yeah.
all right? And he'll be able to adapt because he's running with different guys and he was running different legs there as well. Sometimes the back bend,
Yeah.
sometimes the front.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying because of your reasoning, but I'm disagreeing because I really think he's got the experience
He does
and
it,
he's got
yeah.
way more in the 4x1 and than the other guys. In terms of experience in the 4x1, where we've seen consistency running for South Africa, AK has run in each and every one and has made himself available time after time and twice now found himself where we're medal hopes without even touching the baton. So I would go with Sean in that. We brought up Bradley's just his season. Bayanda. Just to compare it against Nkuana's. So you'll see that he's gone at Grand Prix 3. He went at the Junior Nationals 10.13. Then he ran a 10.3. His heat was 10.3, 10.3, and he got the silver at the national champions with a 10.27. Then he came down, and this is what I'm talking about. It's fairly consistent there, but with a 10.15 in the heats, and then a 10.26 in the semi-final, but he didn't advance from there. So that 10.03 is a very good indication of form. They're very close to one another. 10.17 to 10.35. Here we get 10.36 to 10.15 in the most recent form.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling pick the youngster. I really do. Just he's at senior nationals to run the silver. That takes a lot of BMT. He's won the juniors. We've seen that, and he's also done better at the African champs.
Yeah.
I've never run a relay, so I don't know the complications involved in this. But I wonder if Bayanda Walaza's style makes any difference in terms of a relay in trying to do the changeover. That doesn't seem to have worried them at all. But I wonder if it's more difficult.
Yeah.
With
He
his
keeps
arm.
thring another one. Another one. That also
His arm
makes,
actually
that also
complicates things
makes
a little
sense.
bit, I'm sure.
What did you refer him to? No, it wasn't Tasmanian Devil. I kind of like that. A four-year-old kid throwing a tantrum.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. But, it works for him individually. He's running really quick. But surely passing a baton, it maybe just helps if the guy's arms are a little bit straighter rather than coming around from the side.
Yeah, I
or
think you
whatever
could
he's
straight. Wenda, if you have a funny running style, will you be able to pass on the baton?
Anything's possible. I don't know I haven't seen him run the relay specifically, but I don't know if he's got a running style like that, and maybe just before he gets to the athlete, he will
just straighten your arm.
yeah, makes his arm like
Just
that.
get it there. It's
I
like
don't know.
aim
Wenda
straight.
solved it.
There we go.
She solved it. So
I think she did.
Fill that out, Wiz.
I'm just
Maybe
trying to
he's-
complicate.
Hey, we
Got
get.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like
doing
it.
it, I don't
That's a
know.
lot of things to think of.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to
Yeah,
throw
it is
one back at
technical.
you because you mentioned it, Wes, and I'll look at the camera for this one. Tim, you like that? I'll
my
mention it to
goodness,
you,
there's
Wes.
his face.
You see, Wes. Paul Goris, how many guys is he coaching in that 4x1 team?
2, I think.
2.
Richardson and Nkwana.
All right. So why would you say then he'll choose Nkwana because he's coaching him?
As opposed to Richardson.
No, as opposed to
Walaza.
Mm.
I'm not saying he will. I'm saying as a coach, it must be very difficult. You've got 2
I
athletes.
thought you said, it's a bit difficult, so he'll probably go that way.
No. What I'm saying is that he spends every day with this guy. He spends every day with Nkwana. They're training together. How does he sit Bradley down and explain to him, listen, Bayanda Walaza's got pretty much the same performances as you, but I'm going to pick him ahead of you. That's got to affect maybe their relationship going forward.
No.
I'm not saying that he's going to. Maybe it's not even difficult. Maybe these are things that he's already discussed with the guys. Maybe it's an easy thing to do. But I wonder, how much of that complicates things just in terms of Goris's head, How do I have this conversation with the guy? How do I train with him next week?
Does that
after
influence
I've
his
dropped him from a
decision?
relay team? Maybe. I don't know. I'm a human being. It would. I think it would be difficult for me. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's not for him. I
If
don't
we're
know.
that deep into running style and get crossing the baton, that's a valid question. I think this Olympics with where everybody's at, I think Boris will make the most ration decision. He'll look at the current form.
I think
Then
so.
he'll get an indication of that. And as
Let's hope.
difficult as it might be, I truly believe that if whoever's in better shape, that person would run on that day.
And even though Bradley and Kwan are still very young, maybe these are conversations they've already had together, and maybe it won't be such a difficult decision. Maybe he just says, I'm picking Bayanda for this reason, and it is what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to complicate.
And now you
things a
throw
lot.
then you
I'm
throw
trying to
Wade,
extend this
and
conversation.
now Wade's
That's all.
available. How's that conversation now?
Are you complicating it even more?
No, that's easy. It's easy to say to someone, Wade van Eekirk's running. You're not. Simple.
Who will sit out?
So if you run, say for instance, the semi-finals in the 4x1, all right, you run, but you're not running the final. Do you get a medal?
Yes,
Yep.
you do.
Yeah. I'm double checking it there because I wanted it to say yes.
A win is a win.
Yeah. So there's some room to play there.
Yeah.
But please don't play too much. We need to get into the final first.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That final is what we're hoping for. And with that, are we ready to wrap it up?
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen?
we can wrap.
Yeah, so 3 days away from those
Popcorn
Olympic
ready.
Games. Popcorn, Akani Simbini, flag bearer for Afrique du Sud. A message to Team South Africa in rapping. What message would you give them?
Leave it all on the track and the swimming pool and whatever sport you do.
Enjoy the
No,
food.
enjoy, yes. Have fun, make memories, and yeah, just give your all. Everything you've worked for comes down to this. So have fun and enjoy.
I like that.
Wesley?
Firstly, good advice, Wenda. I don't have advice for anybody. We chatted briefly about this earlier. I think it's a little bit strange that the Olympic Games are starting on Friday because it's actually not. It starts tomorrow. There's multiple sports starting tomorrow. They've
What
got
is
rugby
that?
sevens.
I
and
also
don't
saw
know.
that. I'm like,
It's
Is
kind of
there
normal
open-
though. This happens
Yeah,
at
every year.
At
Yeah.
Olympics. Football normally starts early. Handball is starting. I think archery starts on Thursday. And the opening ceremony is on Friday. I don't know why they don't just have the opening and then start the sport. So those of you who do want to watch, the Olympic Games starts tomorrow.
Like we said, Olympics doesn't start until athletics starts. Irvin, message to the athletes.
Oh, message to the athletes. I think Wenda set that tone. Like, whatever I say now is gonna be. It's not that cool. No, I think from a spectator's point, and I truly am a spectator and a fan. You get those PBs. If you don't make it into the final, if you don't get that medal, make sure you win with your best performance. Like I said, with Tite and with Mpaglele, no 3:37s, please. go run that race. Speak to Adrian Wildschitz, if I pronounce that. He even if he's ended up in 15th, he's breaking South African records. So keep that performances to your best, and we all will be proud. And enjoy the food, enjoy the games.
And in wrapping, I'll say this idiom to the South African athletes. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the slowest gazelle, or it will starve. Doesn't matter whether you're the lion or the gazelle, when the sun comes up, you better be running. Go for it. Bring back the gold. Bring back the medal. And let's make South Africa proud. Thank you for watching. It's been great. Wenda, thank you so much for being here.
thanks for having me. It was fun.
Schmidi, thank you for being here.
Oh yeah, goodbye, Thames.
Wesley, an honor.
Always.
Yeah, it's always fun. Picking the pearls of wisdom from Wesley's brain. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to tune in. We'll be back with some more of these.
Thursday?
Thursday before Olympics opens, before the opening ceremony, we'll be back here. So make sure to tune in and keep watching.
No
Sweat. Oh, yes. Cheerio.